Human trafficking is the third largest international crime industry behind drugs and weapons and has reportedly generated $32 billion annually. It is estimated that between 600,000 and 800,000 men, women, and children are trafficked internationally for work labor. Approximately 80% are women and children and 50% are minors. Within the human trafficking industry, trafficking women and children for sex is the fastest growing enterprise with an estimated 4.5 million victims. 6 out of 10 trafficking survivors were victims of forced sex labor, and 98% of sex trafficking victims are female. The most common ages for children to be pulled into the industry is between 14 to 16 years. Sex trafficking is defined as a crime when a person is forcefully involved in commercial sex acts. In the U.S., any minor or person under the age of 18 who is engaged in commercial sex acts is automatically considered a victim of trafficking under the law. Traffickers often come across their victims through social media, local neighborhoods, clubs and bars, and even schools. Sex trafficking is a worldwide issue, and victims are often lured in with false promises of protection, love, adventure, home, and opportunity. Traffickers keep their victims under control by sometimes withholding their passports and refusing to release them until they pay their debt. Often victims do not receive justice, and when they go to authorities, they are prosecuted for prostitution and other criminal activity. Victims also suffer from long-lasting physical and psychological trauma and are at high risk for having STDs and HIV/AIDS, drug addiction, malnutrition, and not being able to function in society. Fortunately, there are many campaigns and organizations dedicated to saving and improving the lives of victims of human trafficking. One of these organizations is Not for Sale. Not for Sale is a campaign dedicated to ending human trafficking and helping the victims. They have global projects in places like Peru, Thailand, and Amsterdam. Their members have fed, housed, and educated thousands of victims of human trafficking and forced labor, including sex labor. What else can be done to help end the pandemic? According to the Shared Hope International, we can teach minors in underdeveloped countries the tactics of traffickers to avoid dangerous situations. We can train professionals how to interpret the signs of trafficking and how to identify the victim. We can help provide shelter and services for victims, and we can bring justice by working hand in hand with state and federal lawmakers to ensure buyers and traffickers go to prison and the victims are protected.